In the currency quadrant, taking a look at the September euro currency future, which hit a low of 1.0046. But in the cash market, we did actually fall below parity against the US dollar. So what is parity? Parity is when the euro is worth less than $1. That hasn't happened, for perspective, since about November of 2002, when the euro currency was actually in its infancy. The last time price approached parity was during the Greek sovereign debt crisis in 2009. Now, I mentioned the low today, 1.0046. That was in the September euro currency futures, and that was down just short of 0.5%, but we actually reversed that. We're actually up over 0.75% at 1.01725, 101.72.5. On the settlement into the New York close, we were up about 45 basis points, so we'd given away a bit of that, getting down to 101.39.5. Again, that's in toward the New York close. Yesterday's settlement, 1.0094. Now, U.S. CPI is part of the reason. Strong consumer inflation in the U.S. drove larger yield differentials in the short term. It's interesting. The 2s, 10s inversion got to its largest point since 2007. U.S. CPI was 9.1%. versus expectations of 8.8. That's the year-over-year figure. The core year-over-year, 5.9% versus expectations of 5.7. Both month-over-month numbers were larger as well. And in terms of the yield differentials, we actually had U.S. yields lower on the day, rise to up on the day after the number, and then fall back in toward the day. Part of the reason we got the recovery in the euro. We finish actually, though, with 2s, 30s negative, 2s, 10s negatives, and 5s, 10s negative in terms of yield curve effects in the U.S. Also, we still have concerns about a potential energy crisis as we move to the middle of summer, going into the winter months. We still have the crisis between, or the conflict, I should say, between Russia and Ukraine, and there's a lot of worries about the energy situation in Europe, potentially driving that particular economy into a recession. Now, the differential would be Central Bank of the U.S. that has to fight massive inflation figures versus an ECB that might be looking at a euro going into a recession.